Welcome to Darren Daily On Demand, your most trusted resource to help you become better every day. Here's your success mentor, Darren Hardy.
In 2002, Elon Musk began his quest to send the first rocket to Mars, an idea that would eventually become SpaceX. He ran into a major challenge right off the bat. After visiting a number of aerospace manufacturers around the world, Elon discovered the cost of purchasing a rocket was astronomical, up to $65 million per. Given the non-starter high price, instead of giving up on the idea, he began to rethink the problem using first principles. He said, quote, "Okay, let's look at the first principles. What is a rocket made of? Aerospace-grade aluminum alloys plus some titanium, copper, and carbon fiber. Then I asked," he said, "what is the value of those materials on the commodities market? It turned out that the materials cost of a rocket was around 2% of the typical purchase price. So instead of buying a finished rocket for tens of millions of dollars, Elon decided to create his own company, purchase the raw materials for cheap, and then build the rockets himself. And that's when SpaceX was born. Within a few years, SpaceX had cut the price of launching a rocket by nearly 10 times. I'm not talking 10%, 50%, 75%, or 100%. We're talking 10 times, and still making a profit. Elon used first principles thinking to break the situation down to the fundamentals, bypass the high prices of the aerospace industry, and create a more effective solution. He did the same thing in being able to make Tesla possible as well. In a separate discussion with him, he said, "Someone could say, and people do, that battery packs are really expensive, and that's just, they will always be, because that is the way that they have been in the past. They would say it's going to cost, historically, $600 a kilowatt per hour. It's not going to be much better than that in the future." So, using first principles, we asked, what are the material constituents of the batteries? What is the spot market value of those material constituents? It has carbon, nickel, aluminum, and some polymers for separation, and a steel can. If you break down on a material basis, if we bought that on the London Metal Exchange, what would each of these constituents cost themselves? "Oh geez," he said, "it's $80 a kilowatt per hour." Clearly, you need to think of clever ways to take those materials and combine them into the shape of a battery cell. That's not the hard part, but then you can have the batteries that are much cheaper than anyone realizes. The use of first principles thinking and practices allowed Elon to create two companies that solved big problems and made him fantastically wealthy along the way. Just these two companies alone, both started from scratch, are worth more together than $1 trillion. Yes, with a T, trillion, if you can believe that. First principles thinking, which is sometimes called reasoning from first principles, is one of the most effective strategies that you can employ for breaking down complicated problems and generating original and possibly breakthrough solutions. It also might be the single best approach to learning how to think for yourself. This approach was used by the philosopher Aristotle and also referred to often by Warren Buffett's partner, Charlie Munger of Berkshire Hathaway. So on a normal day, our brain runs on autopilot, guiding and making decisions for our routine work with all relative cognitive ease. In making decisions, we like to believe that we are logical and data-driven, but the reality is that we are driven by our own version of truths. We act based on our understanding of the world, our quote-unquote truth, driven by our experiences and accumulated programming. So when faced with a difficult situation at work or in life, when searching for new solutions to perplexing problems, we cannot rely on this automatic pilot, as it is biased and it is constricted in its reasoning. We need to put in a conscious effort to look beyond our current assumptions, believe what we believe to be true, and our current and narrow view of the world. Usually, when we're faced with complex problems, we default to thinking like everybody else. So first principles thinking is a powerful way to help you break out of this herd mentality and actually think outside of the box, to innovate complete brand new solutions to old and familiar problems. So here's the idea. The idea is to break down complicated problems into basic elements and then reassemble them from the ground up. So I think that this is such a valuable problem solving and creative design practice. It caused $1 trillion worth of value from one person and two companies, that I think we should study it a little bit here. So over the next few episodes, I will walk you through 3 different ways to apply first principles thinking and practices to solving problems and creating breakthroughs in both your business and in your personal life. So Are you excited about that? Solving problems and finding breakthroughs? So I'll see you right back here, bright and early, mañana.